There, folks. Good afternoon. The Earthmaster here on the live stream with an update video here on this afternoon. It's Thursday, March 17th, 2022, about 12:56 p.m. California time, and the latest quake out there on the globe shows a 2.6 earthquake down here along the South America region there into the looks like the Chile area. Let's go ahead and check out the latest activity here on the map from the USGS, and we'll see what is going on out here on this beautiful day. Got some clouds moving in. Not a whole lot going on here as far as weather-wise goes. Just looking at the Yellowstone overview. We're going to start with that here real quick. Not a whole lot of movement taking place here. We got a little bit of either ice quakes or some type of microquake activity here around this seismograph station, which sits over here around the Lake Yellowstone area. But I was also looking at this movement right here, and it looks crazy, right? If this was all over the park, we'd be looking at probably like a rumbling, or so to speak, of magma or some type of volcanic tremor activity there at Yellowstone National Park. But I don't see it showing up on all the other seismograph stations. What looks like it may be over here, it's not. This is a previous time. It would be situated here within this time frame, and I just don't see that activity showing up there. But it does look pretty crazy. It looks like they've did some type of adjustment, but if this was indeed actual activity, whether it's earthquake or volcanic activity here at Yellowstone National Park, it would definitely be showing up throughout the park. And a lot of these stations here are tuned properly, so it would definitely be picked up in other areas of the park, and I just don't see it. So some type of interference going on there at Madison River, just to clear that up right off the bat, just in case anybody was wondering about the that signal there on the Yellowstone graph. Latest quake, at least on the USGS map here, 5.1 south of Tonga. This is along the Kermadec Trench area. Pretty shallow movement at 10 kilometers, not deep. This activity can definitely get deep and large within this region here, but for now, just a very shallow 5.1. We haven't seen a whole lot of uptick in activity here following those 6 pointers a couple days, and also the 7.3 that struck off the coast of Japan. Have not seen any further movement here except for this one today, so things may be picking up from here forward following this 5.1. We'll keep a close eye on it. As far as aftershock sequences there following the 7.3, which was a pretty powerful earthquake. I did see some damage photos and whatnot, and unfortunate incidents over there as well. It's just right off the coast here, Fukushima. Seen a couple of fours. Looking at the past couple days of 4.5 and above for this area, shows about 6 earthquakes, including the 6.5 and the 7.3, and I'm sure quite a few more earthquakes in there that the USGS is not showing, but EMSC models do report on that on the globe. We are seeing a little bit of uptick in activity further west here, along the western end of the Philippine Plate and towards the East China Sea, just northeast of Taiwan into the Japan region. Looking at a couple fives kicking up here, a little bit of westward pressure here following that movement yesterday with that 7.3. So definitely got to watch this area pretty closely. It's kind of a telltale sign of increased pressure. Look at this. Look at the depths of these earthquakes here. One of them, 184 kilometers, but we're getting quite a few shallow ones up here that came after this deeper movement. So you got to watch this area up here to the north along that region. Papua New Guinea and the Indonesia area, just not a whole lot of activity today. 4.4, 113 kilometer deep earthquake in that region, and some further activity throughout China. Nothing major going on throughout this area of the world. Some activity here in the southern Iran area, only showing one subsequent aftershock activity, but there's definitely more on the EMSC model and the Earthquake 3D globe following that 5.8 from yesterday. Originally, I think that came in as a 6.1. Mediterranean, Greece region, Crete, all look pretty quiet. The Atlantic Ocean, one earthquake out here in the northern actually, zoom in a little bit. There we go. Looks like there's more than one now. Couple fours out here. 4.7 being the latest, 10 kilometer there for the Mid-Atlantic Bridge Zone. This area can see fives and some occasional sixes once in a while, but today just a couple fours. Looking at the Puerto Rico area, Puerto Rico Trench. Some movement up here, a little bit close to the Puerto Rico Trench area, but I believe that's from late last night. Overall, general seismic activity here only at 10 earthquakes over the last 24 hours, so things kind of tapering off a little bit. Getting into the states, what do we got up here around the New Madrid zone? A little bit of activity stretching up into Arkansas and Tennessee area at the northern end of the New Madrid zone here, 2.1 and a 1.3. A little bit of activity here along the Smoky Mountains north of there, 2.5 in the Newmarket, Tennessee area, 19-kilometer depth for that earthquake, pretty deep. Oklahoma and Texas showing a little bit of signs of earthquake activity out Marshall, Oklahoma, and I'm sure out there in the rest of the gas and oil fields. West Coast activity, what do we got going on here? Within the last hour, not a whole lot, just around the geyser activity, or the geyser hydrothermal plants here around Cobb Mountain, south of Clear Lake. Tapping into that dry steam, and then ultimately, I'm not going to go through that whole process, but you get it. Definitely creating some earthquakes out there today. Up here north, around the Willits area, around the Macama Fault Zone, just off of there, seeing a couple small earthquakes as well, 2-pointer and a 1.7 south of Willits. A little bit of activity here into the southern end of the Cascadia, 1.9. That's well south of Eureka, kind of at the down dip area at 22.7 kilometers. I want to pull up the trimmer map here from last night and show you guys the activity. Had a little bit in Northern California here, right around where we're seeing that activity a little bit further upstream today, and then also some movement up here outside of Seattle. We'll see what today's look like in a little bit later. See, I got way too many windows open here. Let's see what else we got here. California around the Bay Area showing. This area right here seeing a little bit of heightened movement today along the Calaveras and Hayward Fault Zone, kind of stretching into the creeping section of the San Andreas Fault. Of course, they had a little swarming activity there yesterday and the day before. Today, not significant. Just one little earthquake on the San Andreas Fault Zone there, the creeping section, and a little activity up here around Pacifica. A couple earthquakes just off the San Andreas Fault Zone there in the Bay Area. Southern California, Coso Volcanic Range, still seeing some activity. Most of this is from last night. I don't see any further activity recently. Nothing within the last hour either. Just some small microquakes over the last 24 hours. Same for the Ridgecrest southward region, and Southern California still. It's got activity, right? But 27. What do we got? About 23 earthquakes or so, which about typical here for a Southern California day along a major plate boundary. But no major swarms to take note. Nothing significant in the process there in the West Coast region. Idaho, some threes kicking off here, just off the Sawtooth Fault System. Seeing a couple low-grade threes, 3.1, pair of them, outside of Stanley, Idaho, and some movement just to the east there as well in the lower 2 range. And then we just checked out Yellowstone, not a whole lot going on there. Nothing showing up seismically on the map either. One earthquake around Mount St. Helens and one up here around Mount Rainier. Nothing significant going on there. Alaska, typical day up here as well. No major swarmings, just some movement up and down the subduction zone northward here. Aleutian Trench looks pretty quiet as far as any major quakes go. No swarming going on there. So yeah, just kind of watching this day, seeing what's going to take place. We could start to see a further large-scale uptick here along the Kermadec Trench northward. Just have to see how this plays out following this 5.1. Let's see what else we got here. Let's check out the solar weather real quick, and we'll get this uploaded to the channel. Green across the board currently. KP index is very low in the values right here, down below 1. No significant activity to note on the sun at the moment. Flare threat is diminishing, with only a 40% chance of a C flare from these dying sunspots, which are Earthside. But yeah, these just kind of just meandering along like in a endless sea of fire up there on the sun. but no major flares to really chat about at the moment. So, all right, folks. Hope everyone has a good day. We will be back later tonight, this evening. Gonna get out here, enjoy the day. Got a little bit of rain coming. I think we got a little bit of rain coming this weekend. Then pretty severe weather set up in Texas on Monday and Tuesday. So if you live out there, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Monday and Tuesday, and then further east as the days go on, I want to be weather prepared. Looking like a pretty severe threat potential there. So heads up, just in case you're out there in that region. Have a good day, folks. We'll chat to you a little bit later on. Peace out.